Today I'm going to talk to you about what I don't like about Proof of Weekends 3D. And this is, if you follow my channel, you may find that I love this project. And it's true, I do. It's one of my favorite projects right now in the cryptocurrency space. I absolutely love this project. But there are some things that I don't like, and I want to talk about that in this video. Before we get underway, I just got to tell you this. I'm using the Cryptotab browser right now, and this thing is sick. I literally, just a couple of hours ago, look at this, 6,900 users. Listen to me. This is the most passive, stable, fastest growing crypto income I've ever seen, period. There is no, it costs nothing, no investment, and it's ridiculous. I don't know if it's because of this contest that's running right now, make a promo post on Facebook and have a chance to win 0.05 Bitcoin, but it is ridiculous at how fast this is growing. Two of my buddies, Daniel and Eric, I contacted them earlier today. I know they were using Cryptotab in the early days when I was, just barely earning like 1,000 Satoshi a day. It's slow. All this does is it's a browser that runs in the background. It uses your computer resources to mine Bitcoin. And it mines Bitcoin or Monero and converts it to Bitcoin, but that's complicated. It mines Bitcoin totally passive. Totally passive. Okay? I'm going to get to the video about Proof of Weekends in a moment, but you've got to know something. It has taken me months, months to be able to get to the point that I was earning 10,000 Satoshi a day. And I'm already, looks like, it takes me, 10,000 Satoshi a day. I'm already getting to almost 20,000. It took me months to get to 10,000 Satoshi a day. And it looks like it's going to take me about 30 days or less to cross 20,000 Satoshi a day. I'm not quite at 20,000 yet, but it's going to take about 30 days or less. It is growing exponentially. Before long, I'll be hitting 100,000 Satoshi a day. And I'll be advertising and testing out all different types of advertising platforms when that time comes. So stay tuned. If you're not using the Cryptotab browser, then I don't even know what in the world. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm going to make a whole video. I've got to do another video on this, and I've got to cover it a little more in depth. We'll skip over that for now. Let's come over here to Proof of Weekends. I want to talk to you about what is this. If you're new to Proof of Weekends 3D, let me just tell you the mechanics of how it works and what it is. So first of all, it is a smart contract, or sometimes called a DApp. But what is a smart contract? So I just pulled it up on Bing. Definition of a smart contract. A smart contract are computer protocols that facilitate, verify, or enforce the negotiation or performance of a contract, or that obviate the need for a contractual clause. Smart contracts usually also have a user interface and often emulate the logic of contractual clauses. Okay, just focus on this right here. Computer protocols that facilitate, verify, enforce, and negotiate the performance of a contract. What that means is there's no human interaction and there's no human subjectivity. This is all a concrete, the best way to think about it is a computer function. If this happens, then that happens. If this happens, then that happens. It's just a straight computer programmable function that's decentralized, operates on a blockchain. Now, a subset of these would be virtual deposit contracts. Now, this is a new space. In fact, most people don't even know what a virtual deposit contract is. This is a new term coined by this gentleman, blockchain for what is best. And if you've been to his YouTube channel, then you know he's passionate about blockchain technology and the decentralization of blockchain technology. So virtual deposit contracts don't even exist in any other form. Like as far as, it's not a term that people are familiar with yet, but there is no better definition for what Proof of Weekends is and what some of this style of contract is than a virtual deposit contract. So a couple of probably the strongest virtual deposit contract projects out there right now are Proof of Weekends 3D and HDX20. They're both virtual deposit contracts. So what does that mean? What is a virtual deposit contract? A virtual deposit contract is a type of smart contract. And here's how it works. Basically, you put a deposit of, in this case, it's Ethereum in both these cases because the smart contracts are built on the Ethereum blockchain. You deposit Ethereum, you get tokens. These tokens have a use case. You can play games with them. That's the primary use case right now, different types of games you can play with them. But as you hold those tokens, there's a fee for buying or selling the tokens. That's the commonality of every virtual deposit contract. The fee can be as low as 4% in HDX20. In Proof of Weak Hands, it's 10%. In some of these ridiculous contracts, it's 25 and 50%. Those are primarily useless, but because it defeats the purpose. But the purpose of the virtual deposit contract is it's a form of decentralization. It's moving towards ultimately becoming some form of decentralization in the financial sector, which is really fascinating. So what happens with Proof of Weak Hands, for example, they have a 10% exchange fee. So think about that. If you were to go to any exchange and buy cryptocurrency, whether it's Coinbase or Gemini or any of those exchanges, you're going to pay a 3%, 5%, 4%, whatever exchange fee. This is very similar. You pay an exchange fee. In Proof of Weak Hands, the exchange fee is 10%. It's 10% when you buy in. It's 10% when you sell your tokens. Where does the 10% go? Well, with Gemini, when you pay the exchange fee, it goes to the Gemini company. With Coinbase, it goes to the Coinbase company. With Proof of Weak Hands and any virtual contract, the fee goes to all of it's split among all of the tokens. So each token holder will get a small amount of that fee, which is equivalent to the amount of tokens that they have. So think about that. When you buy into a virtual contract, you're given tokens. In this case, if you come over here to the exchange and you buy $100 worth of Ethereum, or you have $100 worth of Ethereum, you're going to take that $100 worth of Ethereum, you're going to buy Proof of Weak Hands 3D tokens. Those tokens, you'll have $90 worth of those tokens. Those tokens, that $90 worth of tokens, will continue to earn basically rewards or dividends or fees from other users that are buying, selling, and transferring, because it counts for transfers as well. So you can just basically, the way to think of it, especially in the future as this gets more and more adoption, you could eventually put Ethereum in or put cryptocurrency in, hold on to the tokens, and it can be a form of a savings account if you wanted. But the other unique thing about this is it creates a lot of games and there's a lot of fascinating options. And I have an entire video on my channel about the various use cases for Proof of Weak Hands 3D. And there's a lot of potential use cases for this. I mean, it's fascinating. That whole earn the fees getting paid back out to all token holders or all tokens, that leaves a lot of experimental options out there that's going to be fascinating in the future. And that video on the use cases is a whole nother video. You can look on my channel for that. But what I want to talk about specifically, and I'll put it in the card in the top right hand corner if you want to watch that video on the various use cases of Proof of Weak Hands 3D. And I'll try to remember to put it at the end of this video as well. But here's what I don't like about Proof of Weak Hands. Now, first of all, let me just briefly recap what I like. It's a solid project, solid team behind it. They've got volume. They've got good volume. It's one of the largest. It is the largest virtual deposit contract in existence right now. We'll come over here. We'll take a look. You can see that it's got, we'll come to balance. It's got 37,000. It was up at 37.2. It's down to 37.1 basically. 37,000 Ethereum. Ethereum's over $2 a pop right now. So 37,000 Ethereum. That's a lot of money. There's a lot of people who believe in this clearly. So that's the first thing that they got going for it that's really good. It's a solid project with the community behind it. It's been proven. The other thing that I like about it is the virtual contract. The weakness in all of these smart contracts is that the smart contract is not solid. Well, this thing has stood the test of time. People have attempted to hack it already. It's been audited. It appears to be solid. It's the most battle tested. The single biggest weakness in all of these smart contracts is that the contract is not written well, and there's some sort of flaw in the contract. That's always a risk you're going to have. However, this contract has been audited. It looks solid. It's the most battle tested, meaning it's been around the longest, it's been tested the longest, and so far it's proven to be extremely solid. So that's what I love about it. There's a lot strong community behind it. There's a lot of third-party applications. I've covered that in a previous video as well. There's a lot of third-party games. The community itself probably could propel this forward all in and of itself. So what is it that I don't like about this project? Well, this is unfortunate. There's a couple of things. First of all, the 10% fee is still too high. They're the lowest, to be this big, they're one of the lowest. I mean, before them, the lowest one has been HDX20 at 4%. The fee, I think, is still too high. And the reason the fees are as high as they are, initially, I think it was all about, people seeing the fees in action, seeing they were earning a return, and it to be obvious and to be somewhat measurable, and people could feel good about it. And it attracted a lot of people into the space initially. And I think that was part of the idea behind it being that high at 10%. And no one really knows yet, because we're learning as we go in this space. No one knows what the optimal place is. But the problem with it being at 10%, one of the advantages, I think, to this token is being able to create a lot of in and out, where you don't feel like you're losing a lot if you get out or if you get back in. So I think there's a fine line between that and the fees being big enough that people see a return. So it's just not like any other cryptocurrency just sitting there. So it'd be fascinating to see long term, what goes where. But Proof of Weak Hands 3D is a smart contract, so they can't change that fee. It's hard coded. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes. Now, in the future, there are some side projects. I hate to say side chains, but there's a lot of ways to create kind of a side project with a different fee that can feed into P3D. There are people who are working, there are community members that have looked at that and entertained that, and who knows what will happen long term. But I don't like the fact that it's 10% in, 10% out. I think it's too much to be able to be very usable. Even in the gaming aspect, after a while, you're like, do I really want to give up? Do I want to make a quick transaction and lose almost 20%? Most people is not going to want to do that. So I think that hurts volume a little bit. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. The other thing that I don't like about it, and this is a double-edged sword, and I'm just going to tell you, I watch the Discord a lot. I pay attention a lot. I don't know if the developers with Proof of Weak Hands 3D, I just am not certain yet if they have the foresight to take this thing to where it needs to go. I think it's kind of an experiment for them, and it's just taken off. And I just don't know yet if they have the maturity or the leadership style to be able to take this, the management style to be able to take this to where it wants to go. And that's nothing against them. I don't know that this was ever their plan. I don't know that they were ever looking to create a virtual contract that could truly, truly, truly revolutionize the financial sector. I think that they had an idea. They thought how they could prove on a previous idea. This isn't their original idea, by the way. They are not the creators. They're just essentially the one who's perfected it so far. But they took an old idea that was bad, where it was a kind of a intellectual experiment, and they basically expanded on it and perfected it to create the current Proof of Weak Hands 3D that we see now. But I don't know, and I'll tell you why I don't know if they have the ability to take it all the way. There seems to be, and this is just my conjecture, there seems to be some potential issues with the developers. There's one developer that was in Discord often, and you can come up to community and you can go check out the Discord. And it's a great Discord, and it's a very active community. I'm in there lurking a lot, watching them. And the community by far is the strongest part of this project. The community members, the other players and / investors, whatever you want to call them, in the Proof of Weak Hands, the other token holders, like they're by far the best part. No questions. I think they probably are, by and large, many of them are above average intelligence. Many of them get some sort of future use case out of this project. Many of them kind of see a bigger picture. So that's a good thing, and I recommend you check out the Discord. However, there was a developer hanging out in the Discord all the time. His name was Inventor. Inventor suddenly disappeared. He's been gone for weeks or months, and it's just hard to know what's going on. Like, no one really knows what's going on with him. And I don't know. I mean, Justo has said before, which is one of the developers, he's I think more recently he said something about he was in China working on something, but Justo's kind of tongue in cheek and sarcastic a little bit in the Discord. He's a bit of a jokester, so you don't really know for sure what's going on there. I don't like this long absence, so that's one of the things that concerns me. I wonder about their management ability, but we'll see. I mean, look, I'm definitely hoping I'm being proven wrong here. The other thing is, I recently saw on a live stream that Manso, which is one of the lead developers, has kind of backed away from the project some. And I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that he doesn't appear to be in Discord quite as much, and he hasn't had as much to say. So I don't know if there's something going on, if there's some sort of rift going behind the scenes. But I'm not seeing the solidarity that I would like to see. The other thing that I'm a little bit miffed by is recently, and this is a thing that probably concerns me more than anything, because I don't know what's going on with the developers. It could be anything. I mean, they could have Inventor locked into a cage somewhere programming away, and he's always talked about, when he was busy, he doesn't show up in Discord and stuff like that, but he hasn't showed up at all in a long time, and usually he would at least peek in from time to time. And I don't really know if anything's going on with Manso and Justo. I mean, it could just be kind of real life stuff, so I don't really know about that stuff. So it's just one of those things I just kind of watch. I mean, look, you're a fool if you don't at least try to pay attention, especially if you have any amount of money in here, as I do. So you want to pay careful attention to the projects, especially if you're heavily invested in them and you believe in them the way that I believe in this project. So the other thing about the thing that concerns me most is that they've been recently working on a project, and that project, in fact, let me show you. Okay, so this is a decentralized website. I just want to show you. This website covers all the various projects and games that interact with the Proof of Weekends token. Here's the token. And of course, as I've covered before, it's decentralized 3D. These are the various projects. And many of these are created by the community. Okay, so that's one of the things I like. But down here are things that the actual Justo, right here, Justo, Team Just, which is Justo, Manso, and Inventor, these are all their current projects that are supposed to be in development. The challenge is they just recently have been working on a project that has nothing to do with Proof of Weekends 3D. Nothing at all. Other than, I think it uses a virtual deposit contract. They said that it uses some of the technology. So I think it uses kind of the virtual deposit contract applications in some way. They're using that related to some sort of project they've been consulting or helping or assisting or programming or developing or whatever. They've been busy, hard at work on that. And I think they've recently just finished that up, which is fine. And Justo's made a comment that basically his compensation he's going to put back into P3D. Again, that's awesome. However, why, if you believe so strongly in the project that you have, and you have these other projects that you're excited by, why would you get distracted on some other project? Why would something else cause your excitement? You just can't help but wonder, I don't know. Maybe it was because they were paid super well. And Justo and Manso, to their credit, and Inventor, these guys did not have a big pre-mine of P3D at all. They don't, I think they all have jobs. They don't have they're not getting rich off of this, right? As it continues to grow, certainly they'll continue to make money. They hold a lot of P3D tokens as well, but they've bought those P3D tokens since it was launched. They didn't have a big pre-mine and give themselves 60% of the tokens. That didn't happen. And you can look that up on the blockchain. So with that being said, maybe that's the issue. Maybe the issue is, they got paid and they were able to make some money, and then that would make sense. But again, these are just the things that concern me a little bit. I don't know if they have the long-term vision. I don't know if their management is solid, if there's infighting. I mean, listen, I've been in businesses, I've built businesses, I've been a part of management teams, I've headed up management teams, I ran management teams, and there's always going to be rifts and things like that. Part of leadership is how well can you hold the group together and move forward, you know? And so I don't know if they have that ability, and I don't know if they have the vision for the future, but they might not need it. I mean, literally. The community may be strong enough to propel this thing forward without them. But I'm continuing to watch, pay attention, and that's just the only concerns that I have at all about Proof of Weekends 3D. I would love to know if you're a part of this project, meaning that you've invested in it, you hold P3D tokens, Proof of Weekends tokens. If you're a part of this project, what are your thoughts? Do you think I'm totally off base? And I know that there are some people that are like fanboys out there, and Team Just can do no wrong, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And look, Team Just is solid. They've proven themselves. They've not been one of these greedy groups that have tried to like run away, steal tokens, and exit scam. None of that has happened. As Crypto Yardy's often said, they've proven themselves. And he's right. They are battle tested as well, and have proven themselves to as far in the area of being able to be ethical with a project and to want to be able to guide a project forward. I'm just wondering if they're going to be able to, how far forward they're going to be able to guide it. I do think, and I've done a video talking about, I do think this is poised, P3D, Proof of Weekends 3D, is poised for a bit of a bull run, most likely between now and the end of the year. First quarter of next year, the latest, but probably between now and the end of the year. There's a lot of reasons that I think that, and I've covered that in a previous video. However, how far can they take this project? And that's part of being in so early. Like, this is groundbreaking. This virtual contract stuff, virtual deposit contract stuff is so groundbreaking. It is groundbreaking. It's revolutionary. But part of being early, part of the way you earn big rewards in the long run is to get in early. But part of being in early is you got to get in before everyone's proven themselves long term. And that's where we're at right now. So that's, I can't tell you that I love this project and I'm married to this project and it's going to be here forever and ever and ever. I can't tell you that. But I will tell you that it's the most exciting project that I've seen in the cryptocurrency space right now. Hands down, the most exciting project. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And tell me if you think I'm way off base. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Let's keep a dialogue in this space because ultimately we are the community. And it's us as the adopters, the users, the investors in the community that ultimately are going to take any of these platforms, any of these projects forward. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up icon as well, hit that bell notification icon. Thank you so much.